everybody, it's me, Margaret. I'm back with another vloggy type vlog. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. If you celebrate that, of course. We do here in the States. Had a little odd Thanksgiving this year because of COVID. My oldest son, who lives in LA, did not come home, and so that was very unusual not to have him with us for Thanksgiving. Never happened since he was born. We used some technology and we set him up at the table, so to speak, with FaceTime. He planned his meal right around ours, so he did sit down and have a meal with us. So that was very fortunate. I imagine this would have been very hard without that. He will be home for Christmas. I'm urging him to reschedule his flights so that he can fly at the least crowded time, you know, so I hate it, just hate it. You know, it's either that or he has to be alone at Christmas. So, you know, what do you do? So anyhow, enough of that. Now that Thanksgiving is over, I am full-blown into Christmas. So every year about this time, I get asked about my Christmas playlist. And yeah, I've got some of my own stuff in here that's related to Christmas, like this fun pom-pom scarf, which of course does not have to be done in Christmas colors, but that's easy and fun to do. A Christmas tree tour. These are some of the ornaments that we have. I think I did this back in 2018, so we've added some since, but it can serve as ornament inspiration for those of you who like to craft your own ornaments. This one, silly scarves down here. I did this part on the Addy Express, and then these little things were just felt. Actually, that's a store-bought glove right there. These are just felt. You can do it with sewing or without sewing, so easy to do. And then, of course, I've just got some various things that I like to watch every single year. Now, the Nutcracker, I haven't watched it yet, but usually we go in person. And, of course, we can't do that because of the pandemic. But some of these other things are just beautiful to look at. Cultural things to learn about. This one, Tucker and I just watched it the other night. Yep, watch it every year, but it is just so fun to watch. The music is beautiful, and the kids in it are so cute. And speaking of kids, this is hysterical. I watch this every single solitary year and never cease to laugh. It's so funny. It's children telling the Christmas story, and adults are acting it out exactly as the kids say it. It is so funny. So I'll link this in the description box below in case you're looking for something interesting to watch. I did do the holiday gift ideas, and I hope somebody found something useful out of those. I had asked for you to write in comments and to share some of your good gift ideas with me, and I did get a few, so I appreciate that. But boy, those videos wore me plumb out. They were so edit heavy. I mean, it took days and days and days to get those up there. So I hope somebody found something in there that they can find helpful, because I don't think I'll be doing that again. And you just kind of have to excuse my messy house because I did not clean up for you, because we have towels on the couch and all that kind of stuff that we always have there, because usually there's a cat sleeping there, but for some reason this cat is laying on the dog's bed, not sure why. But I did buy these pillows this year, which usually look nice without the towels there. And then we ended up with a new Christmas tree, and I call it disco lights. It changes. Right now I have it set on white that changes to color. Boom, which we think is really fun. But you can also see my elves. Now there's Oscar, and I had introduced you to Oscar the other day, and his children, Olive and Oliver. But look what else I found. This was at Amazon, and look how much the styling is alike for those things. These we got it at home, and this was Amazon. But there was a set of 4. So there's another one up there, right there. And then I have 2 more over here. And then I broke down and ordered some more of those cute little elves, like, well, they didn't have any more girls, so I only got the ones like Oliver. And then we have one over there. Now, some things have their usual place, like this stuff right here, But we have no fireplace. We've had 2 fireplaces for years and years and years and years, and now we don't have one at all. So our stockings have to hang on this piece of furniture. That's another usual. This was given to me as a hostess gift one year by someone, and I just love them. So they hang on my oven every year. Now, we still want to put some lights up out here, but I did hang my wreaths. They're on the outside of the fence with that Dollar Tree plastic ribbon, and they're fine. They're just too small. And as it turns out, the wreaths that I've had for years and thought that Tucker gave away before the move, we actually kept, so I could have used those. So I think next year we'll work something out, because the ones I have are bigger than this. This kitty always sits in the windowsill, but he got a red bow. And the craft room is a mess. I've got all the present wrapping going on there. I started a project, well, I've started a million projects, and I have not completed any of them. I need to get going. Now, there's a reason why I have so many things going on and nothing finished. It's because I've actually been much busier than I intended to be right here at the holiday season, because good things have been happening. I was asked to be an ambassador for this Create Room Dream Box thing, which was really exciting, but that meant that I had all these things that I had to accomplish before I could actually be considered an ambassador. So mastering that checklist took up a lot of time. And then I've also got something going on with Knit Crate, and I can't quite tell you about it right now, but I'm really excited about that. But that has taken up a huge chunk of my time as well, and I'll be sure to give you all the details, I promise, when it gets a little bit closer. But now my deadlines are all met. I feel like a free woman, so I can go ahead and finish some of these projects. Like, I was making this little dog bandana for Nash, which is my grand dog, Maggie's dog. And it says, "Silly Santa, of course I've been good." This looks really small, but actually it has these ties that will extend off either side, so that it's not quite so much bulk around the dog's neck, if you know how tying a normal bandana does. This will hang in the front, and then you'll have the thinner band that goes around the back. So I'm working on that. And then I've got my silhouette out here, just because I was making some gift tags, just cutting some basic ones, nothing fancy. But I also want to do an advent calendar, and I have to show you what the pictures are, but they're actually little pockets. You do them on the embroidery machine. I won't have it done for this Christmas, but I'm feeling very Christmassy, so it's something that I wanted to start, and it involves applique. So because of that, I invested in one of these. And I say invested lightly, it's not that expensive. I think I paid about $30 for this. But it's an iron that has a little bitty tip like this, so that you can actually iron inside the embroidery machine hoop. So that's a cool thing. And then of course it has all these other attachments, which will be really good for sewing. And you know, I like to sew those American Girl doll clothes, so you can really get into the points and everything. So I thought, you know, it's about time I bought one of these. I was wishing for one, and I should have put it on the Christmas list, but I was afraid that I didn't know how to explain which one I wanted. So I went ahead and bought it myself. So it's still in its package, because I'm not going to open it till after Christmas. I'm probably going to give it to Tucker and tell him to wrap it up for me. Yes, that is something that we do around here. And speaking of wrapping, let me show you this. I picked up this Christmas paper from Walmart this year, and I thought this would be fun because we haven't had brown paper in a long time. This is something we used to do when the kids were little, back in the day when you could go paper or plastic when you went to the grocery store. And at Christmas, I would always make sure I got the paper. And we would use paper bags, the inside of them, and we would decorate them. The kids and I would decorate the paper. So it just reminded me of that memory. So I picked these things up. And I like the buffalo checks, so I thought I'd bring that in for color. Oh, and this paper, I forgot I already opened it. It looks like Christmas trees. The other day, we ordered from Panera Bread. And look at their paper. This is what the bag looked like that it came in. So I actually used a paper bag for my wrapping paper as well. Once again, I mean. And then these we've been saving. Tucker brought this brought some wine home, and so we've saved the paper bags, so I'm back to the old days again with my wrapping paper. Now I used my Silhouette to cut some of these. You see where that says Joy? This was really hard because this paper was a heavy duty cardstock, and let's see, Joy did very well. Peace did very well. Can you see it better like that maybe? And Ho 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 did pretty well. These are free free designs that I can share with you. There's Peace. But Mary was very hard. Can you see that? And I lost one of my Marys. I had 2 on every page, so I only had 1 Mary. The Ho Ho Ho. So then I just gave up after that and just did some very basic ones. Because that was easy and quick, and it uses up paper that I already have. And then continuing on with my elf theme for Christmas decorations, I had these things from years ago. Both of them came from the Dollar Tree. These are socks. I did not see any of these this year, by the way. And then I ordered these off of Amazon, and let me show you what I'm going to do with those. So I've got fabric scraps here. I'm going to stuff these. I really thought I was getting child-size slippers. I didn't realize that they were fitting adults. Okay, can you see what I did under there? It looks like there's an elf working under the tree. So cute. Look what I found. It's a Christmas workout. We decided to stop going to work out up at the a place up there because we take our masks off, and while we were spaced out a lot, I still feel like right now with the virus being as crazy as it is, that we probably shouldn't be doing that. So now I'm going to force myself to work out at home, which is not something that I get excited about. So I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. It's a Christmas workout. So what? Did you think I was going to show you me working out? No. But she kicked my butt. That was really, really hard. It's high intensity workouts, and I did have to modify some because she did a whole lot of high jumps and things like that, but I got a good workout. So now, it was only 20 minutes, so now I'm going to do some of this, which is beginner flexibility routine, stretches for the inflexible. So that sounds like right up my alley. Okay, that was the most relaxing, wonderful stretching routine. I am not flexible, and it was pretty hard, but it was wonderful at the same time. For instance, I should be doing that before I go to bed because I feel incredibly relaxed right now. That is awesome. So I'm taking a lunch break, and whenever I eat my lunch, I sit down and I just rest for a little while, and I'm right now knitting. So what I'm doing is a basic hat. I used my little chart that I provided free for y'all. I'll put a link in the description box. When I just want to make something, I just need a rough estimate of how much to cast on in what size yarn. And that's what I did. I used the Sport. I'm doing an adult hat. I think it was 144. I don't remember. This is Peyton's Beehive Baby Sport. And I loved the way the yarn looked. Do you see how it's kind of almost like a peppermint swirl with the gray and the white? And I thought it was really interesting that the ribbing looks a little bit darker than the body. Now what I'm doing here is I did a 2x2 rib, and then this is 7 knits and 1 purl. 7 knits, 1 purl, 7 knits. So you get this kind of ribbing effect like that in the hat. And I started this before my oldest said, I need a hat. So he didn't get to actually custom order his hat. But I'm going to finish this first and see if he likes it. And if he does, he can have this one. Or, of course, he can place an order with his mom. And I'm watching the Christmas Cookie Challenge. It's a Food Network show, but I'm actually watching it on Hulu. Yeah, I'm trying not to eat goodies, but that doesn't mean I can't watch it. And I hate to bake, but yet I love watching people bake. Isn't that crazy? I I totally got sidetracked yesterday and didn't finish filming, so I'm going to have to pick it up from today. And I think I was talking about cooking holiday treats and or holiday meals in general, because that's a big focus this time of year. Now, of course, I'm going to have some of our family favorites, like our pound cake. It's a big deal. I shared that recipe with you last Christmas, I think it was. It is a huge deal in our family. We really, really love it. And of course, I'm going to have to eat a little bit of that, right? But I really am not worried so much about gaining weight that will inevitably come from that sort of thing. What I'm worried about is what gluten and sugar do to me. And well, quite frankly, gluten and sugar affect everybody. They cause inflammation. And eating clean is one of those things that you don't appreciate it until you mess it up. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I felt so much better when I was eating clean. So what I'm trying to avoid for me is that sugar addiction, because sugar has huge addiction properties for everybody. It increases that dopamine in your brain, and they have compared it to like heroin, and that it just makes us feel good, so we want more and more and more of it. Once that dopamine is activated, it becomes an addiction. So I suffer with that tremendously. So what I'm trying to do is find things that are fun and celebratory, but are not going to totally screw me up, so to where when January comes, I'm really fighting my cravings and desires for this stuff that is not good for me. So I started with pumpkin pie. Now, it's kind of ironic that I started with pumpkin pie, because I am not really a pumpkin pie fan, but my other family members are. Now, since I'm not the great fan of pumpkin pie, I'm not the best judge, but I have served this to my family, and I sent the leftovers to my friend's house. So a total of 12 people gave this the taste test. And in the end, this recipe was rated about 4 stars from our group, so it's worth trying if you're a pumpkin pie fan. And I'm going to put the links in the description box below in case you're interested in this. But this keto version has no sugar and no gluten. Now, I prefer fruit pies to pumpkin pies, but I didn't have time that particular night, so here's a quick substitute. I rinse off fresh berries and I pour them out on a clean towel to get rid of excess water, and then I serve them with that no sugar whipped cream. I use Alton Brown's whipped cream recipe as if you need a recipe. It's basically 1 cup of heavy whipping cream to 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, anytime I see the word sugar, I usually will substitute, if possible, with Swerve, which is an awesome product. It's not the pink, the blue, or the yellow packets. It's xylitol sweetener. And is that right? Is that the name of it? I don't know. If it's not, I'll correct myself. Anyway, it's awesome. It tastes really good, and it's a measure 1-to-1 to sugar. So when I make whipped cream, I just put 2 tablespoons of Swerve in there, and it works. And Swerve comes in 3 different kinds. You got the powdered sugar, the granular, regular sugar, and brown sugar. And all 3 of them are wonderful. As a matter of fact, I used the brown sugar, or Swerve, the brown Swerve, in a butternut squash recipe that I had the other day. You know how you make a topping on some sweet potato casseroles that have the pecans and the brown sugar and all that? Well, it's kind of like that, but instead of using real brown sugar, I used brown sugar Swerve, and it was excellent. And of course, I just cut the carbs, cut the sugar 100% on that. It was wonderful. So that was a huge success. And I have that recipe somewhere. I could write it down. It's not linkable. It's an old recipe that we've used. Butternut squash casserole, excellent, really good. So when I serve those berries and serve the whipped cream doesn't have any sugar in it. It has the Swerve instead. Frozen berries are pretty good substitutes, because when they begin to thaw, they make this awesome juice. So if you put little whipped cream in the bottom and then put your frozen berries that have thawed, put them out in a bowl or something like that and spoon it on there, and then put another little whipped cream on top, you have this little parfait type thing that is absolutely delicious and so good for you. So there's that. Now, last night I made our favorite broccoli and cheddar soup, and we eat soup year round. We're not just like, oh, it's cold outside, time to fix soup or something like that. No, we eat our soup all the time, because you eat other hot meals, so what difference does it make? I never quite figured that one out. So anyway, I was in the mood for some soup, and that's what I fixed. It's really simple and quick if you have a pressure cooker. I've used pressure cookers for years, but I love my Instant Pot. They're so much safer and easier since you don't have to watch them so closely. I have it set to saute, and I add 2 tablespoons of butter and a cup of chopped onion, and then a couple cloves of garlic. And Maggie grossed me out with information about my bottled chopped garlic, so I guess I'm going to have to find a better brand at Trader Joe's because I can't see myself bothering with a garlic press. I hate to cook, remember? The recipe calls for 4 cups of chicken or vegetable broth, and I put a little extra in because we use less cream than she says. We like ours slightly lighter. Toss in your seasonings, mix it up, and add the broccoli. And again, I put a little bit more than the recipe says. Lock the top on and set it to pressure cook for 2 minutes on high. Now when it's done, you do a quick release, which means immediately release that pressure. Now I'm rather impatient, so I help it along by pressing on a little button on the top of the lid with my immersion blender. Once it stops letting off steam, remove the top. And speaking of the immersion blender, such a handy gadget. You stick it in there and you pulverize that broccoli and onions, and my new version can be put in the dishwasher, so it's easy to clean. Now at this point I add about a 1/4 cup of cream and 2 cups of grated sharp cheddar. You adjust that to your own tastes. Give it a stir to melt that cheese, and you're ready to eat. Oh, and by the way, I made these little bowl cozies from online instructions, and if I can find that link, I'll include it in the description box too. Now, I want to link you to my blog page because I take a recipe and then I modify it. And so just in case you want to see what I do, I'm also going to provide you with the original because you may prefer that one as well. But remember, I'm trying to control carbs. I'm all about vegetables, so I have to try to balance things like that. But that is a tried and true recipe that is very popular at my house. We absolutely love that one. Now in that little clip you saw me use these flat packages of chicken broth. I store broth in our outside fridge here in the garage, and I like to store it in these flat containers like this because I can stack them up. And clearly you see I'm in need of a refill, but I'll show you how I do that. So here I am, all the mess, just finished sealing the bags here. I have a NutriChef sealer, and most of the time I don't bother using the vacuum seals, but I just make sure that everything is lying flat on a cookie sheet, freeze it like this, and then I can stand the packets up vertically. For November, Knit Crate had a wonderful 100% Peruvian Highland wool in their shipment for the regular Knit Crate Club, and I obviously love it again. Now this is actually 2 shipments, and the first 4 colors over here were 1 shipment, and then these 4 colors were in a second color choice, so you could have chosen one or the other. I am going to use these for some tutorials because each of the colors are so inspiring. However, that means I'm going to have to make room in my stash, so I'm going to give away this Knit Crate yarn. Not 1 giveaway, but 2 giveaways. So if you have watched this far in the video, you deserve to be entered in the giveaway. Haven't done these in a while because that COPPA commotion scares me to death. You have to promise me that you are over the age of 18 in order to enter this giveaway, or I could get in some really big trouble, and I have no way to confirm that but your honor system. All right, this is La Brebis, I think is how you say that. I think it's French. And this is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it's a bulky weight yarn. The color is called Storm, and this is 82% merino wool, 18% Peruvian Pima cotton, and it's a super bulky. And of course both of them are gentle wash and lay flat to dry. So in order to enter, just leave a comment in the comment section telling me which one of these that you would prefer, or if you have no preference at all. And thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm going to put together some more holiday type things, whether it's our snacks or crafts, and we'll get some more videos going, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.